Nominee Senator Shaheen is next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to each of the nominees, and thank you for your willingness to serve the country at this critical time. Excuse me. My first question is really for each of you, and I have been following very closely for a number of years now the impact of what is known as Havana Syndrome or anomalous health incidents on American personnel around the world. And sadly, we have now seen attacks against personnel on all continents except Antarctica. Obviously, the State Department personnel are one of the main targets of these attacks. So I want to ask each of you, because I understand that the State Department includes a briefing on AHIs as part of the ambassadorial seminar program that you're required to attend. So I want to ask each of you if confirmed, you will commit to attending the ambassadorial seminar on AHIs and seek a classified briefing with the State Department once you are confirmed. If I could just have everyone respond either positively or negatively to that.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I will.
Thank you. That was a good leading question. You all passed with flying colors. Ms. Harpootlian, I want to start with you on another issue because I think Slovenia, I chair the European Affairs Subcommittee of Foreign Relations, and I think Slovenia is a beautiful country, and of all of the countries in the Balkans that made up the former Yugoslavia, Slovenia has done probably the best job, at least it's been the most successful in integrating with the West and the EU. But I fear now that we are beginning to see some backsliding in Slovenia, and there are recent developments that may curtail the full and free operation of an independent media and civil society there. So can you talk about how you will approach this issue with Bratislava and how you will connect what might happen there with that backsliding to the potential for Russia and China to make inroads in Slovenia? I'm sorry, I think you're still on mute.
I'm so sorry, my apologies. Thank you for the opportunity.
We've all been going through a whole year and a half of being on mute, so we understand.
So there are a lot of issues that you've presented in your question that are very important. I think that first and foremost, Slovenia embraces transatlantic cooperation. Democratic values are the foundation of our transatlantic alliance with Slovenia. In Slovenia, there are multiple parties. It's a multi-party system with a well-entrenched system of checks and balances. It's unlikely that in Slovenia you would ever have one party taking control. Right now, there are 9 parties sitting in parliament. You mentioned Bratislava, but in Ljubljana, I think that the focus is wanting to be a good member of NATO, a good member of the EU, where, as you are well aware, Slovenia currently holds the EU Council presidency. And it's working toward accession of the Western Balkan states into the EU, which, if that happens, they have to pass certain thresholds for the Copenhagen criteria in order to, demonstrate that they are stable democracies, that they have freedom of the press, they respect human rights. And Slovenia is working very hard on those issues and pushing for the EU accession. It won't happen anytime soon, but by striving to create stable democracies in those countries, I think that we are going to combat the issues that you've raised.
Thank you, and thank you for correcting my misspeaking on Bratislava rather than Ljubljana.
But if confirmed, I will support Slovenia in its efforts to support democracy throughout the region, and I look forward to having the opportunity to do that.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I know I'm almost out of time, but I'd really like to ask Mr. Rathmanathan a question about Sweden, because as we know, competition in the Arctic is becoming even more critical today. And we're seeing increasing incursions by Russia into the Arctic. And so what I would like to know is, if confirmed, Mr. Rathmanathan, how you will engage not just in Sweden, but within the State Department and with ambassadors for the other Arctic nations about the role of the United States and how we can cooperate with our allies in the Arctic.
Thank you, Senator, for that question. Of course, Sweden, like the United States, is an Arctic nation, and we are represented together on the Arctic Council, which is the premier forum for governance around Arctic issues, ranging from environment, sustainable development of the Arctic, scientific research, and so forth. You also referred to territorial buildups by Russia, or military buildups by Russia. Obviously, the Arctic Council does not include security matters, and those are left to sovereigns. But we do have a strong relationship with Sweden on the defense and security front. If confirmed, I look forward to collaborating with Sweden on our continued efforts towards interoperability and coordination on defense activities under both our bilateral agreement as well as their NATO Enhanced Opportunities Partner status, and addressing these issues going forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. Unless I think Senator Young was next in the queue, but I'm not sure he is currently signed on. Senator Young, are you with us? If not, Senator Van Hollen, you're up next.